to stay.
Hello and welcome back to Beyond Boards, a podcast dedicated to the actions and interests of skaters beyond skateboarding. My guest today, Joel Meinholz, grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where he picked up his first board in the late 80s. In his late teen years, he moved with his parents to Boca Raton, Florida, and started exploring the city of Miami. Since then, Joel has had a productive skateboarding career, writing for Planet Earth, Stereo, Rasa Libre, and eventually Hops, and appearing among other things in Josh Stewart's iconic Static video series. Throughout the years, he has become one of the best and most enthusiastic ambassadors of the city of Miami. Aside from ripping hard as ever in his late 40s and being a talented photographer, Joel has successfully worked in event production and marketing throughout his entire career. So here's my conversation with Joel. I hope you'll enjoy it.
What up, boys? Hope all is well. This is Felix. Quentin, I'm loving the podcast. Joel, I'm loving all the new clips. But here's a question. When did you know Miami became home when you first came from the Midwest? Have a great interview, guys. Can't wait to listen. Peace.
Could you hear that okay?
Yeah, I heard it perfectly. He asked the question, when did I know Miami became home after I left the Midwest?
Exactly.
Yeah. I never really thought of anything as home for a while, you know. I was just floating around and like making different places work. And I mean, it's an easy answer to the question. The first time I left Miami and then came back and felt the rush of humidity coming through the airport doors when you walk out, that's when you know you're home.
Yeah.
It's an easy answer, man. But no, I mean, yeah, a lot of it is, you know, over time, finding my way down in Miami and starting to skate with the people down there and actually really getting to know what it was to be in the streets of Miami. That's what's up, man. I really appreciate, you know, Felix and the whole DTM squad that was in Miami before I even got there, and learning about, you know, the history of Miami and knowing the rippers and all like the hidden like ramps and just spots and stuff like that. It was pretty sick to find that all out too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so just to kind of go back a little bit for a second. So you grew up in Milwaukee, well, close to Milwaukee, as you were saying. And so at what age did you, because I think you moved to Boca Raton, is that what it's called, in Florida?
Yep.
With your parents probably at the time? You were probably still in school or in high school or something?
Yeah, I was trying to go to school, and I ended up meeting a few friends or a few people down in Miami, which was basically, you know, Matt Cantor, Tim Von Wern, and Andre Lezama. And those are the people I kind of connected with and started skating with down there. Because there was a squad that was in Boca, but those dudes were like actually like out street skating all the time. And I'd go down on the weekends, and my weekends would churn out to like stay longer and longer. And I just kind of never ended up going back, you know?
Okay.
That was my like experience in Miami. I was like, northern, like Boca and all that was not where I wanted to be. You know?
Yeah. Is that far from Miami? I'm not sure where Boca Raton is.
It is. It's like an hour north. It's north of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And it's just, you know, it's got the beach and all the stuff there, but it was stoplight to stoplight. You know, you basically drive stoplight to stoplight, and there's just neighborhoods, or plazas. There's like no city aspect to it.
Yeah. So that was exciting for you to go to Miami and have this whole other atmosphere and configuration of the city and just vibe overall?
Yeah, I mean, definitely that's it. You know, it's like you pushing down the street and you just hear so many different languages and cultures and smells, and just the city was alive and still is, you know. It's fun. You know, and all we did was push and push and push all over the city. And that was the coolest thing to me. You know, it was like skate rat style.
Yeah.
I was definitely a skate rat.
And what about just starting skateboarding in Milwaukee? Like, when did you start? Like, how old were you? And how did you kind of start? Like, did you have friends at school or like family relatives or people that kind of give you your first board? Like, how did it all start?
I mean, a lot of it was, you know, there was kids in the neighborhood who skated, and this is, you know, early 80s. I remember them, and it was like they were just like rolling down the driveway or doing like hippie jumps and stuff like that. And I was just a little kid, and I might have had a BMX bike or something, and just saw that and was like kind of enamored with what that was, and I just thought it was cool. And then I think I ended up finding like a board one night. I didn't want to go into a restaurant. I found a board in a bush, and then that kind of helped push me having a skateboard, and then that all ended up, starting all of what that was.
Okay.
And that's kind of like how it all started.
Did you have friends that skated those very first, early years of skating, or did you watch videos or magazines? Did you have access to kind of a skate culture, or did that come into the picture a bit later?
I was thinking about that because I just was in Milwaukee the other day, and it was crazy because, like I said, I was in Milwaukee the other day, and I saw I went to my old house, and in my neighborhood was the coolest thing. Because I saw these little kids. There's like a little tiny hill in our neighborhood. And I saw these kids as I was pulling in. I was like, yo, these kids are learning how to skate right now. The same way that I did 35 or whatever, so many years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the tiniest little hill, but at that time it seemed so big to go down. And I was like, it just kind of blew me away. I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy to see this. A little bit of memory lane, because it's like I went there, and I also went to the location where I bought my first skateboard at and shot a photo of the building, and it's still there. And it's like there is the thing that I would ride off of or try to ride up. It's all still there, and I was just kind of blown away.
Yeah, it brought you back, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was pretty interesting to do that and then do this interview.
You just mentioned this next guy, Andre Lezama. So I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, Dre.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So he said, at one point in our relationship, Joel and I used to skate a lot with each other in Miami. I would also couch surf at his apartments in South Beach, whether he was single or dating/married or had roommates. At his place, after skating all day, we would play chess before or after dinner and had cake time with his lady. We have not communicated in a while, but I still consider him a friend, and I know he still shreds and has cemented himself as a skate photographer and may still be a practicing professional skateboarder as well. But I don't know if he plays chess anymore. In chess, it's good to have a plan, but in some positions, coming up with a plan can be rather difficult, even for masters of the game. As we skaters age, some are able to transition smoothly into careers and lifestyles that show little signs of attachment to the Peter Pan syndrome. Others tend to cling to it in an unhealthy, negative way. My question would be, do you still play chess?
Dre, motherfucker. Do I still play chess? You know what? We just got a chessboard, and I have to start to get back into it, but I haven't.
So his second question is, how has it been for you dealing with having to come up with fool's mate moves within the fluctuating aspects of professional skateboarding and the industry itself, while performing duties as a husband and being accountable for things outside of skateboarding? And can you offer any advice to help others vanquish any self-loathing within themselves if and when they've realized that they've clung on too long to that immaturity and must pivot to further grow however they see necessary?
Dre coming sideways always. There's so many different layers to all the questions that he asked that I don't know if people really get, but I know. Going back to the original questioning about the Peter Pan syndrome is in skating, I know that I ended up using skating as an aspect to learn everything else. And that's from, having responsibilities as being a skater and having to represent a brand and a product. And then knowing that label that's on top of you is more than just you trying to be cool. It means hey, I represent this brand professionally, because usually you're getting paid for something like that.
Yeah.
And that, a lot of that had transferred over into, having to deal with corporate, having to deal with even just small brands, having to deal with responsibilities, and taking that and then applying that into the real world. Mm-hmm. And the way to transfer, you just take the same sort of things you learn and apply them, into the real world, except it's just not as fun, because, you have timelines and responsibilities, and you have to problem solve on a different level than just being physical and being out there and being hey, I don't want to do this anymore, so I'm not doing it. And you have to get over that fact, or it's I have to get this done. It needs to get done. Let's take care of it, you know?
Yeah,
I think that could be the aspect of that, you know? That's what he's asking.
And yeah, just to, can you tell us a little bit about meeting with Andre? You mentioned, so Andre and Matt Cantor were some of the first guys you started skating with when you first came into Miami?
Yeah, there was them, Whammy, which is Mark Garcia. And I mean, there was just a whole, like, I just got introduced to a whole scene, you know? But I ended up gravitating towards, like, Matt, Dre, and Tim because they just had the skate rat in them, you know? And those are, like, the parallels I aligned with, that I was just skate all day, all night, all the time. You know, and just constantly wanting to push, constantly wanting to find, constantly wanting to try, you know? And they were rad to skate with, and they had spots, and it was just a whole new world, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those were the guys that were, like, down to skate all the time. So I think what I would do is I lived in Boca, and Tim, I think, was going to school somewhere in Boca or up north, somewhere there, and I would hop in the car with him on the weekends and get a ride down, or I would take the train down, and I would stay with them, and I would either stay at Tim's house, maybe Matt's house, and just stay there for the weekend, and then go back up, and we would just, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just skate the whole time. And then slowly, as, you know, as, like, I met people down in Miami, getting places, having a place for people to crash, you know, I just always looked for people who were down to skate all the time. And Jay was always down, you know. He would meet me over at MLK or take the train up, and we would just skate, you know. That was the main thing. I just wanted to hang out with skaters who skated at that time.
We'll talk about him later as well, but I was just curious, when did you first meet with Josh Stewart? Like, because, like, you were part of the first Static and then all the other ones, like you had clips and all the other ones, but you had a full part in the first one. I was just curious, like, when did you first run into him, and how did you kind of get involved in doing Static?
You know what? That's a blur. It's a good question. And I think we would go maybe up to Tampa, and Paul Zitzer was up in Tampa. And I might have brought, like, not necessarily a sponsor me tape, but a tape with all our footage on it. And maybe that's how they saw it. And I'm not clear on the whole, like, situation when I met Josh, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that was that, and then he probably, we were down there just skating and ripping, and he wanted to come down, and I had spots, and so we just linked up that way probably.
Okay.
You know, you'd have to ask Josh that why and how I got into that first video, or why he chose, like, why, because I'm always thankful for that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's huge, you know. I think I was just, like, wild, you know, and he was just like, yo, all right. Sure, you'd have to ask Josh.
Well, speaking of Static, this next guy had a part in the latest Static, John Baragwanath. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
So he said, what I always wondered about Joel and never got a good answer from him is how and why he ended up in Miami, and specifically how he connected with DTM crew. DTM was Dre, Tim, and Matt, and they were the first crew in Miami of skaters in the early 90s. So I think I really want to know how he connected with DTM and how he found his way down to Miami.
I mean, I kind of answered that already, but DTM is not Dre, Tim, and Matt. That's like a joke that we made after the fact, because DTM used to be Downtown Mafia, and it used to be a bunch of kids that would roll around the city that were from all over Miami and really skated the city back before I got there. And it was like, there's a whole crew, Bad Brad and all these other heads. I don't know if Ozzy was, you know, and Jason Ramps and a few other heads. Like, there's a lot of heads, you know, and I would hear these stories about things that they had done. I think Paul Shapiro was probably part of it too. Names people don't even probably know. And I just thought it was interesting, you know what I mean? Like, there's a different time, a different squad, and there's a bunch of kids just running wild. That was the real DTM. But how did I hook up? I mean, I kind of said I would just come down because I was looking for skating. And that's where I found skating, was down in Miami. And John's so sick. He's just got a good smile. And, you know, always fucked with him in a way that's positive. But I was just like, always gave him a hard time to, like, do better. But he was always so good, you know, and amazing. Yeah. And so I'm pretty psyched on him and seeing him skate still now today, you know, and what he's done and how he's growing as a man. You know, it's pretty rad. That whole squad that came up. Yeah. Good kids.
He asked the second thing. He said, also, I bet he has a few crazy stories with Ed Salego. I'd love to hear some crazy skate session that led into some party session.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I can tell you a skate session though. It's like I think Ed and myself, like one of the first times I like really connected and vibed with Ed was when we were skating this little gap rail in Miami, and we were just like, it was this spot, you know. I mean, I think it was probably one of the first times I met him. I can't really remember.
So that's like around late 90s, around there, or?
Yeah, late 90s, you know. And we were just starting to jam on this little like gap rail, and we just started railing off tricks. But it was the first time, I think, you know, there's Jason Ramps, who I've skated with before, that was kind of like this like nemesis person that I would just connect with, and our energies would just bounce back and forth, and we would just keep on like pushing at each other, but in a way where it was super fun. And it kind of just got us going. Not in a competitive way where I want to be better than you, but just in a way where it's like, hey, let's go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're feeding off each other.
Yeah, you know, same thing with like Abe Bethel was another one that was like that too, where I would just, you know, go back and forth, especially on mini ramps or curbs or whatever we would skate back in the day. It would just be this like back and forth, because again, these dudes are all skate rats that I'm like connecting with, you know, that have this energy. And then I skated with Ed, and Ed was like pushing me to like try harder and go faster and push. And I was just like, yo, this is what I like. This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I'm striving to be around, are people who are pushing me to be better than I think I can be. And it's just leveling up, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was it. And I mean, you know, a party story is a party story. And it's the same thing, you know, going out, having a good time. You know how it goes.
Well, you just mentioned Abe Bethel. He actually asked a question as well. He said, Joel, what keeps you inspired and staying living in Miami with 9 months of unbearable heat and humidity?
Oh, what keeps me there? It's that strength, though. It's strength training. Keeps you alive, keeps you healthy. And, you know, people complain about the heat down there, and I don't have a problem with that, you know? I end up enjoying that aspect of it, because it's like, it keeps you strong, you know? And I love sweating through a whole gear, like fit, you know what I mean? And it makes you feel like you're actually out there like doing something.
Yeah.
And now, until you've skated and sweated through a whole fit, socks, and a pair of shoes, you haven't really like skated, you know?
Finished the session.
It's
Yeah.
always, yeah, for real though. I mean, it's the truth. And when you can wring out your shirt and then let it dry and then put it back on and wring it out again, I mean, Abe will know that, you know, heads that come down in the wintertime to come skate complain about the heat, and I just would kind of laugh at them. And you'd have to ask, like, you know, Johnny Wilson and all those dudes, and I'm just like, yo, man, what are you guys complaining about? This is nice, you know, it's like nothing, 80 degrees and sunny, you know. So I mean, right now they're dealing with probably August, September, where it's just so gnarly right now.
Is it? Okay.
You know?
More than in July, for example?
Yeah, I mean, July is hot and all of it's hot, but you're just like, you've been in the heat already. And it's like either raining, humidity, raining, sun, raining, and you just can't get time, you know?
Okay.
So, I don't know. And I also think it keeps you young, keeps you alive, you know? Just working out in that sweat, in that heat. So, that's my thought. That's why.
Okay.
And Abe knows too. I know he can't stand the heat, but he loves it also at the same time. Because you miss it in the middle of winter when you like skated and you haven't like sweated through everything. You're like, what? Did I really skate? But you're also psyched at the same time.
It's not the same satisfaction. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, I miss I think having Abe in Miami itself it's awesome. I think his motivation, what he has going on with Greater and what he's doing for a lot of kids and a lot of people gives this alternative out there to show like, hey, here's a different side of skating, and you have one of the best in the world there. And you can go skate with him whenever you want if you can get him at 7 a.m. to go skate some curbs, you know what I mean? He's always down. And to me, Abe also is like one of the funnest to skate with because he can do anything. And this was the cool thing about skating with the people that we've skated with, is they can do anything, but they'll also level you up. So they'll build you up to make it feel like you're growing, you know, instead of like somebody going and like doing every trick in front of you and kind of a little bit, you know, discouraging about that
aspect
of it. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've ever dealt with people like that, or you deal with people that are really good, and they just kind of like
motivating,
have fun with you. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the biggest things I love about skating with Abe. And he's always just been motivating.
Okay, let's do this next audio one.
Hey Joel, it's Fuenzalida here. I'd like to know one of the cooler stories about your trips when you do like Lost in America and you're traveling. It looks super fun, and it looks like you go all over the place, so it's kind of cool. Maybe give us an anecdote or two from those trips. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the spots that you created in the city, and how you hype up the youth to push themselves and hit more spots. My G.
Yeah, Danny, little Fuenza. That's pretty sick. I mean, he's got his thing going on now, and I'm psyched for him, and he's been, a staple of Miami for a while now,
For sure.
And he's been that consistent part for a lot of kids also. So, they got the park, they got, skate free and all this other stuff. So it's pretty sick. But I mean, Lost in America is kind of just like a joke, you know what I mean? And in a way, it was just being free and not knowing what I was going to do that day. And it just became like this adventure. So whenever I would just get bored, I would start traveling and just see where the day took me, and, leaving it open to the possibility of saying yes and seeing what that door opens up. And you never know what you're going to get into. And I really enjoy that, and I've done trips where it's just, pick a place on the map, drive there, see what happens on my way there, have a conversation with somebody. They say, oh, there's something over here, let's go check that, whatever that might be. And I've actually done like a planned road trip before with Eric, and I flew into Seattle to meet him. And kind of doing like a skate trip, like going looking for skate spots, but instead we're looking for swimming holes and just indigenous Native American like spots, and we just cruised across the country. Took a couple weeks and just stopped anywhere and everywhere. Had conversations with people, looking for swimming holes, looking for skate spots, looking for random things, and just kind of finding our way across country. One of the places that we wanted to go to, or he wanted to go to, was Chaco Canyon. Okay. And one of the places I wanted to get to was Taos. And so I think we took a couple weeks and just ended up on some crazy adventure, you know what I mean? Where it's like sleeping in canyons to ending up at Burning Man to just, like not having a plan and just letting like the fate or just like whatever happens in front of you take you. And that's like one of the biggest things what Lost in America is just letting yourself walk out the door and see like where the wind takes you.
Let's see, this one is from Steve Brandi. He said to ask you about the Taco Bell story.
Taco Bell story?
Yeah, he said it was possibly 98 or 99. And I think Josh might have told me about this when I did his interview a while back. But if you can just remind us what that was about.
What was that about? Dang, I wish Steve would tell the story, because his perspective or Ricky Dixon's perspective would be more interesting, because I only know mine, and I was laughing the whole time. But I think we were on a session. We might have been skating this little hubba on Biscayne. I can't remember what the spot was. And I think we're just like sitting at the session just bored, I'm like hungry, and so I'm like, yo, let's go to Taco Bell. So I jumped in the car, and I think Ricky was in the back seat and Brandi was in the front seat. And it was Taco Bell on a Friday night. And Miami was a lot more wild then than it is now. It's like so tame now. It's crazy. Okay. And that Taco Bell was on 41st and Biscayne. And heads were like, the line was packed. It was like Friday night as well. And we're just all waiting in line, boom, 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 waiting like people, whatever it is, waiting in line. And then these heads roll up in like 3 carloads or 2 carloads. Just wildin', drunk, no fucks given. They try to barge in front of me. I was like, oh, hell no. And they tried to barge in front of me with their car, like edge it all in. I was like, nah, man. So it's like a little battle between me and like these other cats. And it's like a Miami thing to do. Everybody's very aggressive when they drive. And so it's just like, yo, this is how you get what you want done. Okay. So like, I understand. I was like, but it's not going to happen. So then the heads, like, they're wildin'. They jump out of the car. They must be drunk as shit. And they start talking all this shit to me. I was like, nah, fuck you guys. You know what I mean? Like, laughing like, what the fuck you guys gonna do? And then another carload shows up with the same crew. So it's two carloads, and they get pumped up and wilding. And so they end up, and this is, you have to ask these guys about the story, but pretty sure that like one of them starts trying to swing on me while I'm in line at the car, like waiting to like, there's nowhere I can go at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's the cars behind me, cars in front of me, and they just kind of fucking start swinging and like throwing punches, throwing rocks.
Oh, wow.
And like bricks, actually. And like trying to like, but they're all fucked up and trying to kick into the car. And I think one of them connects with Steve and punches him. And I think Steve took off running, and so did Ricky, or Ricky got connected on. I don't know. It was like they were just throwing fucking punches, and they're trying to punch me, and I'm just like laughing, like blocking them.
Okay.
And then one dude tries to kick me through the window, through my passenger window. I grab his leg and yank him. Like I stop him, grab his leg, yank him, drop him. Somebody else tries to picks up a brick and tries to whip it at the window, but hits the pillar of the car and just like dents the pillar of the car.
Mm-hmm.
And these dudes like took off running. And I think at this point, everyone kind of like trips out on like what's happening. And everybody jumps in their cars and takes off. And I'm just sitting there. I'm just still sitting there in line laughing. Like I was laughing the whole time. Like, this can't be happening. But you know, it's Miami, so you're used to it. You're kind of ready for anything anyways. And it's like real fucking Miami. It's not like how it is now.
Yeah.
And so you're just ready. And I think I still went to go order my food and order the food for everybody. The dude that's in front of me, I remember he's like in a Mazda little truck. He has the audacity to ask me for, he's like, he gets up, he didn't have any money when he got to the window. And he has the audacity to ask me for like, he's like, yo, you got any money? I was going to pull my gun out and try to help you, but you know, I just didn't. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm like, nah, man, I ain't got shit for you. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever, pick up my food. I think I picked up the food for everybody else. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I think I found these guys over in the Denny's parking lot across the street hiding. Get them, and then I go back to the session. And I don't, like, it's such a crazy story, but you have to have, like, Steve or Ricky give you their part of the story.
Their
because
insight,
a lot of it to me was, because I was laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
And that was, like, I think that was one of their first trips to Miami also. And I think they were shook as fuck after that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that would be for sure.
I mean, but also it's like, you just got to deal with it. You got to roll with the punches, right?
Yeah.
Be able to handle your shit.
Yeah, I remember Josh told me basically the same thing, but I'd have to re-listen to his interview to remember what he said exactly. But it was along the same lines. So like I remember him saying that you grabbed the guy by the leg and kind of like he dropped on the not the floor but the ground. Yeah. That seemed like an intense session.
But I mean, back then in Miami, there was a lot of kind of situations you always had to be ready for, you know, like I see kids now, they're like rolling around like with gold necklaces on and just like, you know, wearing shit. And I'm just like, yo, this is like, it's just different now at this point right now. Because the neighborhoods that we would go skating, you know, a lot of times those neighborhoods, this is the first time they're seeing like a white boy on a skateboard in those neighborhoods. Do you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
It's just different, you know, and that was a different sort of like, you just needed to respect everything and everybody around you and just be on point at all times because you never knew what was going to pop off, you know, and you never showed like you had anything, you know. Having a camera out in some neighborhoods, you're just like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But you said that Miami's a lot more tame, you said now? It's like not that same kind of vibe or like the atmosphere is not quite like that anymore?
No, not necessarily. Not at all. I mean, it still pops off in places, but not like it was before, you know? Mm-hmm. There was like hookers on the streets and drug dealers and, you know what I mean? It's just different. It was way different.
Let's do this one from Fred Gall.
Uh-oh, Freddie.
He said, ask Joel, how long was my extending Miami vacation in 2000?
Shit. Did he ever leave? I think once Freddie got there, he never left. His influence is still there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has so much energy that's like, again, it's super, super fun, wild. But again, he comes from the same line. He knows exactly like what's going on with everything at the same time. Like, oh, I can see what's going on in the streets. I see what's happening. We're out skating. We're out doing things. We're also pushing that energy of like skate rat style going up and up. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I can't remember. He ended up staying forever, man. And I think there's many and plenty stories of us just doing what we did, you know? And he's probably, to me, like, he's one of my favorite storytellers. Because when he tells his stories, he's like so like passionate and just wild about it. Have you had him on here yet?
Not yet. I want to get him on. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, hopefully one day.
You definitely need to get Freddie on because he's so good at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a legend.
Him and Ian O'Connor are probably two of my favorite storytellers. But yeah, I you know what? I really can't tell you how long he stayed there because it was just a whirlwind of wilding.
Yeah, I'm sure. It's interesting to hear you say that he has this kind of energy because that's something throughout the questions you'll see later, but some people have also said that you had a lot of energy and that you were someone whose energy was very inspiring and very unique. So to hear you say that Fred has I don't know if it's a similar kind of energy, but he has definitely like an intense one. It's kind of interesting that you two kind of connect on that regard.
I mean, I think that's a lot of the people who I do end up hanging out with, no matter what they do, they have that sort of energy just because it's an easy way to connect on a different level with people. And then to be able to just push at like, no matter what it is, no matter what we're doing, you know, it's there. And that's kind of like what I'm used to and what I enjoy being around, you know?
Sure.
But yeah. Every time I get a chance to go see Freddie, anytime I'm in New York, I go to Jersey and just like, yo, what's up, baby?
Mm-hmm.
So, and kick it. You see it. Like, I think I was out with Freddie the other day, and the other day is a couple months ago, but we got to go out to Jersey and skate with him and Josh Wilson, and we ended up getting some photos into Closer, cool. The new Closer, which was pretty sick. And it's just like going to Freddie spots, and Freddie spots are always just amazing and photogenic and just fun. So it's like, to me, as being able to shoot photos or having my photos run in magazines, it's like an honor to have a photo of Freddie in Jersey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. It's iconic.
Pretty hyped.
All right, let's do this next one.
Yo, Bender, love you. I'm on tour right now, just FYI. Curious about what your favorite tour memory is. Yeah, details, please. Any that you can remember.
Could you recognize the voice or?
No, but if they call me Bender, it's from somebody who's back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know, who was that?
That's Sven Barth.
Sven Barth. Oh man, that's pretty funny. Sven again is another one with crazy energy, one of my favorite people ever. And people who know him like know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like pretty sick. And I don't know. Tour stories? I don't know. Shit.
Yeah, it's probably
tour
so
stories,
much to go through. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know. It's like, it's not even something I have in my brain anymore, is like thought of being on tour like that. But I mean, I remember, I think one of them was I used to skate for a company called Far East that was out of skate park of Tampa. And I think we ended up going to Make-A-Wish, either in Houston or Dallas. And we ended up taking a rider truck that skate park of Tampa had.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget who was driving. I don't know if it was Schaefer driving or Clemens. I can't remember. And we just drove cross country with a bunch of us on a couch in the back of a rider truck. And, no, like just a little window. And that was it. And I think that was a pretty sick one because Milligan, I believe, was with us. And just, I don't know, a bunch of people were with us. And we got to go skate, Make-A-Wish. And I was like, first time I'd seen like a lot of these pro skateboarders in person, I guess, again. And got to skate around. I think that was probably one of the sickest things, for me in the beginning.
Nice.
That stands out. And I mean, there's like the different ones I've gone on, but yeah, I mean, that was a pretty interesting one to be like skate rat, back of the rider truck, going cross country out of the swamps of Florida to Texas, skating at the Make-A-Wish. I think that's what it was. I can't remember. I might be wrong, completely wrong, but who knows?
Let's see. Oh, this one's from Brian Delatorre.
Dela.
So he said, Brother Joel, hope all is well in Boston. How do you feel about skating in Miami nowadays? You've been here a long time. It seems harder these days to get shit done without the resources we used to have back in the day. Does having the option to go in and out of MIA seem a better way these days to prolong a skate career if you live here?
I don't know, man. I think, one, I love Dela. Two, Miami's just as abundant for spots as it's always been. You just have to understand how to skate them and then what you want to like accomplish, you know? And to me, there's just something so special about Miami. You can just push down the street and it's going to look good. You can just roll down South Beach and get a clip here, get a clip there, and it's going to just look dope. And Miami itself is like you train basically all season, like going back to Abe's thing, it's like you basically train all summer long in the heat, getting, you know, skating and strengthening, becoming stronger. So it's like when season does come and everybody does come to town. And this is something I've told like the younger kids. I was like, hey man, all these people are going to start coming back to town. If this is your city, you need to rep it. You need to know what's up. You create your spots all season long. Like, and I say season, it's like the off season. You get your own spots and then you give up all the spots that you had filmed all your tricks on last year to these people, like to all the heads coming into town, because it's like they just want to skate the spots that they've seen in the videos.
Yeah.
But you have the best opportunity to grow as like a professional skateboarder or into the skate industry because everybody does come down there. I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah, no, for
or
sure.
Not.
Yeah, it was just kind of your feelings about Miami nowadays. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're doing a really good job, and you have, you know, Edgelord has pumped into the city. You have what Andrew is doing to support the city. You have what Grader is doing to help support the city. You also have Lot 11, which is a huge influx of what's going on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to MIA, I don't know if there's anybody asked a question about that, but MIA is like another huge, huge part of what helped make Miami also.
Yeah.
You know, those guys opening a shop and all of us coming together and starting with nothing and kind of building everything out of there. You know, because once they came down and saw like what was going on down there and saw the opportunity, they helped put Miami on the map.
Yeah.
So
who was the owner? It was Chris Williams, right? Was the
Chris Williams? Yeah, and Ed Salego.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I have a couple other Miami questions from this guy.
Yo, Joel. Okay, what's your perfect day in Miami? Where are you going to skate? Who are you meeting up with? Who's the squad? What are you eating? Let me hear it.
It's very windy. Could you hear the voice? Or?
Nah, I came mad craze. What is
okay.
What is
So that was Jake Todd at Theories of Atlantis. He said, what is your perfect day in Miami? Where are you going to skate? Who are you meeting with? Who's the squad? What are you eating? Let me hear it.
For me, a perfect day is like being able to enjoy having all these different people and squads in there, because I remember when there was no one skating and really no one going after it the same way. And to see that energy going back and forth is like, that's my perfect day. You know what I mean? Like, there's a thing where heads won't know because they only know what they know now, like how it is. Mm-hmm. And before, when there was like no one skating, it sucked.
Yeah.
It just goes back to being like a skate rat and wanting people to skate with, you know?
How many different filmers have filmed you try the board slide?
Shit, I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Probably 10 at least.
Oh, really? Wow.
You know? Easily.
Is he talking about that board slide in the latest, was it in the Supreme video or
Yeah, it was in that video, you know, and
Supreme Miami? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
kind of like a wide big ledge thing going up and down, right?
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time I ever skated was with Matt way super back in the day, and I think we just tried to we rode up or maybe tried to grind up it and couldn't do it, and we just rode up the side and then popped out because it's like beveled. And so we're trying to skate like a little quarter pipe or a little lawn tramp off the side a little bit, and we're just like, whatever. And I don't know when it happened that I was like, oh, maybe I can board slide up it. and across it. And I had tried that for so many times. I can't remember. I've been there trying it, and I've been there at times when the cops have showed up to kick us out, but the cops were just like, yo, what are you doing? And they just sat there and watched us skate and had the lights on and telling people hey, they have filming permits, they're okay to be here. Because they were just hyped on us doing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And then there's other times, and then the big accomplishment was to go up and across and pop off. And I had got that, and I thought, I was like, oh shit, I got this, I was super psyched. And I think it might have been in one of Josh's videos or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, yo, I can slide down this thing. And so I started trying to slide down it. And I started getting the sliding down. And I had gone there, and I kept trying. And I wouldn't try to waste people's time going there. I would go there maybe for a half an hour, maybe an hour.
Okay.
And after a while, it's just I was down to try it, but I wasn't down to waste people's time anymore.
Sure, yeah,
and so
I understand.
I would do it as more of I'd gotten close a bunch of times and did it the way I wanted to do it, where it's go up, across, down, and then keep sliding. And I tried to slide as long as I could be able to, and then pop off at the end. But there's no end. And then anytime a filmer would be in town, because sometimes I wouldn't have a filmer around,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, let's go try this trick I want to get, you know what I mean? So anytime there was a new filmer, I'd be like, hey, let me go try this trick. And so that's how it went. I think it was an ongoing process.
So who ended up filming the clip?
Who ended up filming the clip? It was sick. It was Zoogie, Lundy, and Johnny Wilson.
Okay.
And that's what it got. Because I was like, yo, if I'm going to do this, I want to have 3 filmers. Because the inside looks so sick. The long lens from across the street up on top looks really cool too, because you can actually tell what's going on.
Yeah.
And then the straight on, you can actually see what's happening. And for the straight on, it's so difficult because you have to be in the street, and that there's so much traffic going on in that street that one road is always packed. And so that was a crazy ass day that we ended up doing that. And it wasn't the way I wanted to do it, but I got it done, and I was just like, fuck it. I don't want to bring any, I would go back and keep trying to do it the way I want to do it, but I don't want to waste anybody's time anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's such a core workout, because you pull up, you slide up a transition, then balance back out on flat, then you have to slide back down a transition. And so it's just you're just all over the place.
It's a roller coaster.
Super. It's so much fun though.
Yeah, that's awesome that you finally pulled it off. And even though it's not exactly how you envisioned it, but you got it done. So that's cool.
Yeah, that might have been a 10-year thing or something like that. It's I tried for a long time and would get close, but then I would wouldn't fuck with it for months upon months. And then somebody would be in town, and I'd try a couple times while they're in town, and then I wouldn't try again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Do you remember when you landed it? Just the feeling? I'm sure it must have been a little overwhelming finally getting it after all this time. Or did you immediately think oh shit, it's not exactly how I wanted it? Or do you remember kind of just that moment when you got it?
I was like, hold on, keep your feet on. I'm like, sick, this is done. Finally, it's just done. And then I was like, oh, I didn't do it really the way I wanted to do it. But again, in time, and I was just like, fuck it. I'm not going to look back. You know what I mean?
For sure, yeah.
Not think about it. It's done. We're good. One of the times, because we would go, at the end of it, it became board size for breakfast. That was a quote with Johnny.
Okay.
And one of the times I picked up we were with a crew, and I was like, fuck, dude, I don't want to bore these guys with me an old ass dude trying a dumbass trick. So I went and picked up champagne and orange juice and made them fucking mimosas while I was trying the fucking trick.
Gave them a little treat.
Yeah, because it's such fucking entertainment.
All right, this one's from Jimmy Lannon. He said, Joel, what's your favorite city to skate?
To go to Jimmy's question, Lannon, which always been a rad dude. He's 100% solid human being. You know what I mean? He's another one, super fun to skate with, different energy to skate with, but really fucking good and intense. He's just another one that he's super sick to hang out and skate with. Very calm, good energy.
He seems like a very calm dude. I got to see him at Connect, and he seems very I don't know, like appeasing. Like you feel kind of at ease
centered.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah. He's very centered. He's, I've always liked him since he was a little kid. When Josh first started bringing him around, overall rad human being. But cities in general, obviously Miami, New York, San Francisco, anything that's got some sort of like metropolitan like craze. Like I like cities that have chaos in them.
Yeah.
Because with chaos going on, I become at ease. Obviously, you can tell like some shit's happening. I'm just like, it's more relaxing, I guess, to me, because that's how it is.
Yeah.
But the story is like, it's the same thing. It's like, what's your favorite spot? A city, a spot, all that. It doesn't make a difference unless you have like a tight little crew with you or who you're skating with, because that makes all the difference in the world. It's like your friends that you're sharing that experience with.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere in the middle of the worst parking lot ever, but you have your like right crew fucking around with something, and it's like, this is the best time ever.
Yeah.
And that goes back to like what it means to be lost in America. It means just being lost in the moment and having fun with who you're with.
With your friends, yeah.
Yeah. Or your wife.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course, yeah. It's more about the people and the energy than the actual place or the architecture or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, again, when you want to film something or go and like get some stuff done, it's definitely the architecture, it's the textures, it's the colors, it's the lighting, all that. I mean, when we were out at Connect, I was just blown away at like how beautiful everything looked out there, and I was like, whoa, this is why everyone skates the way they skate out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it just looks cool.
All right, let's do this one from Jerry Fowler.
Oh shit.
So he said, you are one of the few skateboarders where if anybody wants to film you, they need to be filming you at all times, because a lot of your tricks are spontaneous and happen first try. For instance, your frontside crooked grind down the synagogue rail in Miami that was in static 1 looks like the filmer may have filmed it by accident or perhaps almost missed it. Over the years, how has your approach to skating worked alongside photographers and filmers? I'm assuming that you have probably been asked to redo a lot of tricks that you have done because people were not expecting you to land things so quickly.
You know what? I'm like, my girl's going to school, so I've been hanging out in Boston a little bit and being able to connect with Matt Willigan and Jerry.
Yeah, that's why I hit him up. Yeah, I saw he filmed some clips of you, or vice versa. You filmed some clips of him.
Yeah, so I mean, that's super sick because like I was on Planet Earth with him. I was on Converse with him back in the day. And it's really cool to actually be able to connect with heads again and go out and just enjoy, getting older as a skater, and go back to the question about the Peter Pan syndrome and doing those things that Dre asked. You do have the ability to have that jump in and have that Peter Pan syndrome and that passion for like what you did when you were young, and try to get that energy somehow out of you and have a good time. And it's like, none of it matters, but somehow you have such a good time doing it. And so being able to have that experience with people that you've known like 25 years ago or something like that, and reconnecting with them, it's pretty sick, Yeah. Because it's like, nothing ever stopped. It was just like, all right, cool, let's go. Let's just jump in the car and look for a curb.
Yeah.
But
that's awesome.
With that, I always loved fucking with a filmer, photographer back in the day, because it was, if they were changing a tape or changing a roll of film, I would get more psyched to land a trick.
Yeah, it was like a challenge, and it's
yeah. I was like, sick! I'm gonna fucking land this shit
right now.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. A lot of it, the people who skated with me, especially way back in the day, it's like that's how. Like I just felt something, and I was like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna do it, and it would just happen that way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can tell, it's like a lot of my life is all based on energy and how like the moment or the feeling is, and it's like whatever happens in that moment is what happened, and to bring that moment back, it's so difficult sometimes. You know what I mean? And it just isn't it's just not as fun. I'm doing this to like rip out of my body and just let something like unleash into the world. You know what I mean? And that's like how I approach skating.
Mm-hmm.
And so having to go back, I just was never into it, but I still would do it, I guess, And I think Josh filmed it, and we were probably, for that front crooks, we were just flying, I think Nate Jones was there, Brandi was there, Ricky Dixon was there. We were all skating together for the first time. Like, Nate Jones is just, his style is so infectious and so sick.
Yeah.
You know, that I think all of us were just going and just rifling tricks off and trying. And, you know, those are the times that got lucky and rolled away.
You've collaborated with Josh a lot throughout your career, and was he ever pissed off at you because of that kind of approach of filming tricks, or like did he tell you like, okay, just wait for me for a second, like I need to just get my gear ready, like don't throw yourself at that thing, or does he kind of understand that you function that way, and then he just tries to capture whatever he can capture?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like the filmers that really kind of know me know that, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And they just know that
they need to be ready at all times.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, you definitely had to be ready at all times, and that's how it went, and those are the filmers that would know. I would like, when you hang out with a filmer who's like sits and fucks around and like is like, doesn't have the camera out, is just like kind of like doing their thing, and they go through their sort of like way that they record or capture everything. It's just like, all right, cool. I mean, I guess,
Mm-hmm. But
when you have a filmer who has their camera out all the time and is just capturing everything, Johnny's like a good one at that. He has his camera out and it's just like ready to go. It's really cool to see that, because you never know what's going to happen in those moments in between really trying a trick, and because like that's the special sauce, you know what I mean?
For sure.
I don't know. I think a lot of the brilliance in skateboarding is in between everything.
Okay, let's do this next one.
I want to know, where do you get all your energy and all your motivation to get out every single day and go all day and want to keep going when everyone's done and then do it again the next day? Being at the age you're at and have been skating for as long as you have, where does that come from? I'm curious, maybe other people are too.
Who is that?
That's Brad Cromer.
Brad Cromer, bitches. He knows where's that come from? I don't know, man. It comes in an intense burning of trying to do something or wanting to get something done or having to accomplish something or making something happen or find something. I don't know. It's hyperactivity. It's ADD. It's like the reality of life is a lot. And to be able to have that going, he knows the same. It's, us being in Miami and fighting through the summer times and making you stronger. It keeps that energy alive too, because you have the ability to go. It strengthens you. And I guess, wanting to achieve whatever's in front of me at that time, that's a lot of it,
Mm-hmm.
And like Brad to me is like, I really, really enjoy skating with Brad, because he's down to skate and go look for the most randomest ass things that I would share with back in the day with like Tim and Dre and Matt, where we would just constantly look for new spots all the time. We would do all city all the time. And, Brad is down to like just get in the car and search and just keep searching and searching behind every little like nook and cranny to find a good spot and be like, and it could be the shittiest spot in the world again. And I'll skate with Brad and I'll have the most fun skating the shittiest, worst spot. And he is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Brad is so fucking good. I'm like,
super
holy
talented
shit. Brad is a real professional skateboarder. His talent level and his skill level is like, and just the way he holds himself is professional.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like, again, going back to like the kids in Miami, having the chance to be able to see him skate and to be around the way he conducts himself, they can learn so much from him.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's huge. And I don't know. It's coladas. Coladas keep me going, Brad. If you go to Miami, and I think that's what Jake asked too. Is Jake was like, "Yo, what do you eat?" And he knows that I'll just eat empanadas and coladas. Gas station, styrofoam cup, shitty $1.50 coladas. You know what I mean?
What's
like
a
rocket
colada
fuel.
again? Is that like I think you I watched yesterday this it's like an old Riot Channel skating through Miami thing that Josh filmed he was like filming you for a full day. You were skating around, you were handing out flyers, you were organizing a party in the evening, And I think
We
you
did
got
Bum
one of
Rush the
these
Spot.
things. Yeah, Bum Rush the Spot. Yeah.
That was like an actual real, like, that was a real day. That was a normal, real day.
In the life of Joel Meinholz, yeah.
Yeah, of like what it was to be like, I think, professional skating, events and parties, you know, just doing it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to me, that's a good day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're skating.
It makes you want to go to Miami, yeah.
Yeah, putting things on for the community, making fucking money, doing, you know what I mean? Like, having just a good time. Shit, what was the question?
Yeah, just the coladas thing. Like, is that like...
Oh, yeah.
I think you
coladas.
mentioned it in the video. Is it like a coffee thing with a lot of sugar or something?
Yeah. It's espresso. I think it's like Cafe Bustelo, if you get it right, and like 4 scoops of sugar and espresso, and it's mixed up with Cuban coffee, and it's just got a nice little foam to it, and you power it, and it's just it'll keep you going for an hour, 2 hours, full throttle.
Okay.
You know?
Get the energy back up.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Just keep it going. It's like it becomes something that you romanticize with because it's dying in Miami too. But you used to be able to go to like almost on every block, at least downtown or wherever you were at. You go to every block or any gas station, and there would be everyone hanging out at those little coffee shops from South America or wherever they were from, and just sitting on the corner talking shit, smoking a cigar. Like, it was just this Miami lifestyle that had a feeling, and it wasn't contrived. It was just, you know, socializing and just, yeah, it's like there's romance in that, you know?
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that thing, the Right Channel skating through Miami thing, and I wasn't sure when I first started watching it. I didn't know who was filming, but then as I was watching it, I was like, oh, like Joel seems to know this guy, like he's comfortable around this guy, and so it made sense that it was Josh. And it's cool that he was the guy filming you and following you and editing it and everything. It really made a fun, like it made me want to go skate Miami. So it was pretty cool.
I think Josh in general made the whole world want to go skate Miami.
Yeah.
You know, from him going down there with Stackvis, from him working on the MIA video, he was really able to capture what the feeling was from all of us and put it out to the world. I mean, he's an amazing person, amazing videographer, but the amount that he has contributed to so many people and what he still does for everybody it's you know, it is beyond.
Yeah.
You know, he's somebody, you know, if I get 5 minutes of his time, that's even a lot at this point right now, but it's like for everybody who's been somewhere that's helped me or even hasn't helped me, I have so much respect for, you know, especially in those beginning years of just helping me feel comfortable and help building me up within skating in the ways that he had done. And being able to shoot something like that with him, and yeah, of course it's really comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, in the years, you know, he's done a lot for Miami and also everybody else, New York and his series and all those brands, you know. He puts 150% into everything.
Yeah, he's the best.
Truly.
Okay, let's do this one from Danny Montoya.
What?
He said, where is a legit skirt steak in Miami in this day and age?
Oh, shit. There isn't anymore, man. That shit's donezo. $15 skirt steaks are gone, man. Everyone found out about that shit. You can still go to my little grocery store and pick it up, but now it's $40 for a skirt steak versus $5.
Damn. Okay.
I don't even know how much meat is at this point right now. But we used to go to this spot called Las Patas Cortas. And you would get, like, after skating or doing, you know, wilding out, you go and get this skirt steak, which was, like, rolled up and some fries and just, like, it was, like, $20 or $18. It was so much meat. And it was just Argentinian spot, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know? I try to find some of the, like, when anybody comes to town, I still try to find that authentic mom and pop place and take them to, you know? And I don't even, like, a lot of them really exist as much anymore.
This one is from Mark Gamez. I hope I'm saying his name. Yeah.
Yep, he's part of that little DTM crew too. He's like original Miami pretty boy, fucking skate, surf. He's another 100%er.
So he said, ask Joel about how he got into parties and promoting or marketing. What led him to doing chocolate sundaes, etc.?
Oh, shit.
So yeah, so you've been doing that for a long time, right? Like throwing parties. Like we were just talking about that video in Miami, and so you were doing Bum Rush the Spot during the day, and then in the afternoon you were doing the chocolate sundaes. And so that was weekly events for, like, you did that for a long time, right? Like at least 10, maybe 20 years or something?
Like 15 or 18 years. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's really what it comes down to is, in the beginning it was like wanting to go out and drink and get paid to drink, I was living in South Beach at the time with my girl at that time. And then I ended up, she worked in nightlife, and then I ended up working out, like, I ran flyers, and it was like $20 an hour or something like that. And you just hang out outside of clubs and tossing flyers in the beginning out to people and then running it around. And I was like, just hanging outside the club, getting paid was pretty sick,
Yeah.
And you just had to end up flyering everybody on the way out. And you started learning about everything on the ground floor that way, There's a few of us that ended up starting that way. This cat Raul was also like a part of a street team and some other heads. But yeah, I mean, that's how we learned the formula for throwing parties. And after working for a couple people, I was like, oh, they make how much do they make a night? And how do you end up getting these people? And this is what you do? And they get paid for this? I'm like, what? I'm like, yo, I got to get into this. You know what I mean? And then, over time, I ended up meeting a friend of mine, Craig and Martina. And we used to go to this place, Purdy Lounge, which if you're back in the day, people will know about it. And Martina had an inn, and she had a friendship with one of the owners, Dan Binks. And I don't know, we were probably drinking or hanging out there, and we started talking shit about wanting, and we could take over like their worst night, which was Sunday night. And we ended up starting a little party, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that little party was based on like what it would be, and that was most skaters, they might have $20 in their pocket, or most people might have $20 in their pocket. And so we were like, we like to play pool. We can't really hear the music that we want to hear out, so we're going to end up doing free pool, play some music, and put some skate videos on TV. And at that time, we were friends with people who like had access to Oscar movies back in the day. They had access to all new movies because they were supposed to whatchamacallit for the Oscars. And so we were able to show like all movies that were playing like in the theaters.
Okay.
Inside of this like back room. So it was like you could go out for $20, take a girl out, or see a movie, hang out, drink and chill, play some pool and listen to some hip hop or whatever we were playing. There was like skate videos. And so we ran that, and then ended up taking it on to like this bigger and bigger thing, and it just became this like mini little juggernaut that a lot like all the skaters ended up coming to over the years, because it was like the party in the place. And so we just turned it into a destination. And
so you were doing that in Miami, but I think I read somewhere that you were also doing it in New York at some point, weren't you?
Yeah, like I ended up taking that thing and I went to the cities that I wanted to skate because it was a good excuse for me to go hang out in those cities. So I did New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and Austin, and I was just like bouncing around the country every month doing that. And then I just did New York, Miami all the time. And then that was like super fun too. And it was, just a different sort of lifestyle that, I don't know, it was just a wild lifestyle. That's all I can say. When you start knowing the different BPMs of cities that people dance to, you know what I mean? That it's like, I know the different BPMs. So it's like you have to have your DJ play these songs will hit here, and then this will hit here. And then, people dance to soul in Chicago, but you try to bring that soul down to Miami. No one's going to dance to it the same way, but Miami bass is going to hit. But if you try to bring all like the heavy shit that's like running New York and you bring it down to Miami, the party's going to change the vibe. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah. There's kind of a science to it, a little. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a science to it. It's just the reality. You know what I mean? Like
some recipes that work, or it's interesting.
Yeah, it's a whole different lifestyle that I kind of haven't really gone into, and I mean, it's super, super fun to be able to bring people together and put the energy level up and start to add these little pieces in to be like, oh, okay. And, you know, through Chocolate Sundays, I was understood how to work with companies and brands and then work with their marketing departments and then be able to take that and apply into a formula where it's like, oh, this city wants to reach artists, musicians, skaters, models, this like in crowd back in the day. And I can take this product, which is the party, and I can bring all these people together. And then I'll take whatever brand that we have, you know, brand A, brand B, and then work with their retailer and then have their retailer. And I could just put these pieces together.
Yeah, sure.
So it's like if somebody wanted to do, say, an art show, somebody wanted to do an event, and they needed to do an after party, I could put an after party together for them. And all of a sudden you have a marketing budget. And then it was like easier to do something because you'd have one piece would be, you know, brand A, then you could bring the alcohol company together. And it's always just a lot of fun, you know? And that was probably going from working in like skating and then moving over into nightlife and then doing events. You just learned how all those pieces work together.
So were you always doing that kind of on a freelance basis, or were you sometimes doing that like working for an event company?
So my little Instagram handle is I'm Your Villain, and that was my
Your company
name.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was like, I came up with that name just because it was like I could get everything done when no one else could, you know? And I thought villain was a strong word that wasn't represented, and I wanted to change what it represented.
Yeah.
And it was more of a Robin Hood style. And so when everybody kind of came up and didn't have an opportunity to get something done, I'd be like, all right, I can figure out the pieces and put it together for you. So I'm the one that'll get you done. And I'll go out into places that you can't or won't, and I'll make it safe, you know?
I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. Yeah. I'm your guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the name. I wasn't sure where that name came from, but it's interesting.
Yeah. It's like more of like, that's why that name's that. And, you know, it falls into the word villain, and then it's just like, I should just change this shit because it's like dumb and old. But then it's just like, this is what this is, and let it ride. You know?
No, it's cool. Yeah, it's enigmatic. Yeah, I would keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I have that for that, and then I have another company that I called Bender and Bender, and it's because everybody called me Bender back in the day.
Yes, someone asked about that, so yeah.
Yeah. So I changed it up, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to call it Bender and Bender. It sounds law firm. It sounds like legit, you know what I mean? So that's what's up.
What about Bum Rush the Spot? Because I think that's still going, right? Didn't you throw that event again in June or around there?
Yeah, I ended up doing... Bum Rush the Spot it's interesting because I was thinking about that the other day. I created that thing because there was nothing going on in Miami at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, let's just do an event at real spots in the streets and just get the kids together. And we're just going to bum rush the spot. You know, we're just going to go to a real spot and hit it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's how that thing started. And I think it was Jungle Double Set, which got tore down. Ghetto Banks, which everyone was too scared to go to at that time. People were like, why are you doing it over there? I was like, it's fine. And then I think we did the Triangle, but got kicked out. I can't remember all of it. But yeah, I mean, I just started it just as for like the kids in the neighborhood, basically Miami, give them something to do. And to this point now, it's when I got older, I would do it because it's like I wanted to help support the brands that supported me. But I also knew that a lot of the shops didn't have the time to actually do events. So I could come to these like shops, bring in retail that I would bring in from outside from my sponsors and people who I reached out to, and do an event for them in their community. They really didn't have to do too much to make the event happen. And so it was a way for me to give back to, you know, different shops and different communities, and for me to have fun, you know what I mean? It's just keep on pushing on something and to see like where we can end up doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think one of the ones that was super sick was we did Freedom Plaza or Pulaski Park. And that one was super sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like, I always wanted to go there. So I got to go skate those like like that ground that, you know, Pep and all these dudes had skated. That's like really East Coast, like, you know,
Iconic
it's
spot,
like pretty, yeah, but you got to think like how much history has been grinded on those ledges. It's just so sick.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, all the dudes that have hit that are people?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, to even going, but I would go and make sure, like, I would talk to the main heads in all those cities and be like, yo, are you cool with this? Are you guys down with this? How can we work to make this happen? What other brands that are here can we represent? And then now it's just kind of like, I'll do them whenever I kind of feel like it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm sure.
You know?
So, and how long have you been doing that now? Do you know when was the first edition?
Yeah.
Like, was it 10, 15, 20 years ago? Or?
Again, that's probably like 10, 15 years ago, easily. It was when MIA was around still, and we did it. Because a lot of times, like, MIA, I would, like, help do events for MIA. You know, if they would have, like, a shoe release or they would have something, they would do maybe the shoe thing at the shop, and then I would do the after parties for them. Or, like, hey, how can we end up doing stuff for the shop? You know what I mean? We all work together, kind of, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that I couldn't even remember when was the first time I did that one.
Late 2000s, around there, yeah.
Yeah, late 2000s, like mid 2000s, probably like 2011, 2010. Whenever, like, before MIA, like, while MIA was around at their first location.
All right. Do you still have a little bit of time? I have, like, I think 5-6 questions left.
Yeah. I mean, all I gotta do is edit photos today.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
This is crazy. I'm taking, like, fucking a class.
You are?
And I have not. Yeah, it's crazy.
What kind of class are we talking about?
I'm taking a photography class.
Oh, okay.
Called Where the Wild Things Are at fucking Harvard.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Because my girl's going to school here, so I can, as an Loeb affiliate member, I can end up auditing classes. And so I chose to audit this little photography class, and it's crazy just to be in an academic world.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially for me, where I'm just, like, tripping.
But also, you've been shooting photos for a long time, so it's not like you need to. You're already an accomplished, skilled photographer. But I'm sure it must be interesting to just attend and hear whatever they have to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in general it's just interesting to be. You know, that's my step in is through photography because I'm comfortable. But it's like where else we can take it, and then to hear. Because I shoot photos and you hang out with skaters, so you don't really hear much more of a conversation. And the way that people are communicating and talking about everything, it's just interesting to me because I'm like, oh, I need to, like, learn what I'm doing more, you know? And it's just such a sick opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird that I have, like, class to go to and
That's awesome.
things to do, like, you know.
And at Harvard, not just any random school. It's one of the best schools in the entire world. It's pretty crazy.
You talk about fucking imposter syndrome. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? But this is definitely one of those overcome fear, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's a completely different world than I come from.
All right, let's do this next one.
What's up, Joel? Matt Cantor here. I'm really stoked that you're getting in this interview. I feel like you're an absolutely one-of-a-kind, unique person that the people need to know about and hear from. Over the years, I've definitely seen you do things that I was baffled at. Like, how did he not even hesitate and just go and do it? Like, you nose grinded the gap to rail and Brickle first try. Granted, it was a really good session and everybody was going for it, but you had already rifled off like 9 tricks and then frontside nose grind first try, and that is not the kind of thing where that is something that usually happens. I would love to know if you could just break down your mental process or whatever it is that you do to just remove fear from your equation and skate the way you skate to this day, which I think is an absolute inspiration for all of us. Hell yeah. I just turned 48 in August, and as much as I'm still trying and whatnot, I'm up in Portland, skating Burnside. It's been great. There's so much to skate up here. Please come up here and stay. But yeah, what is it, or is it anything that you do to just put fear aside and make it happen? Love you, buddy. All the best.
For that fact, Matt rules because he was another skate rat. And we had just come down to Miami. I would stay with either him, like I said, him or Tim. And we would just go driving around all the spots. and being shown, like Matt would just take me to all the spots
Mm-hmm.
in his little Volvo, listening to Misfits, or we would watch like Ricky O's part in Eastern Exposure, Welcome to Hell, and just jump into the streets and be like, fuck it, we're going to attack everything just like that because that's what it's all about. And we would go warm up like on Windy City Rail and rifle off a cut. Like we would park, and Matt, myself, and Tim, Dre, depending on who was around, we would park in Brickell, warm up on the little mani pad, which everyone kind of skates as the fountain now, and then push over the bridge and then go warm up on the Windy City rails, rifle off our tricks there, try some flip tricks down that, then go over, try to ollie into the triangle, do that, and then kind of start moving around the city that way.
Okay.
That was our average like start of our weekend, you know, going through the city and skating. And so that's how we would do it, you know what I mean? And Matt asked us like, what is like going through the process of just going for something?
Yeah, kind of putting your fear aside.
I mean, it's the ability to fall, you know, and it's knowing that if I'm going to go jump on something, I can get out of it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can put all the energy forward that I have to get something done and try. And then if I have to, I can pull back from it and like work my way back down into doing something. But it's just the ability to like say, this is what I want, and I'll feel it. You know what I mean? It's just like I would just feel it, you know? If I felt something in my head, I'd just be like, all right, I can do this, and I'd just do it.
Yeah, kind of an
intuition
that this is something you can do.
Yeah, just knowing that you could do it, you know, and not letting anything else in front of you slow you down, you know? And I think that's like one of the best things of like what skating is like when you're really in mode, your brain clears and you're just in this space, and that's the coolest space to be in.
Yeah.
Of like, I can get this done, you know? Other people have different techniques of way of getting shit done, but for me, I completely blank out and clear my head, and that's it. And I guess that's when, you know, you go back to like asking a question is like having to go back and retry a trick to film or to go do one of those things. It's like, yo, I just did it. Like, it's done. Like, I want to move on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I've overcome the fear, and I don't want to think about it again.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
But, yeah.
Do you still approach skating that same way today? Or are you a bit more cautious or, like, not as risk-taking, I guess, as you probably were in your, I don't know, like, you know, early 20s or something? Do you approach skating differently, or do you feel like it's basically the same thing?
I mean, the only reason I approach skating differently is because physically I'm not in the same shape. But I mean, like if I'm going to try something, I'm still going to commit 150% and try. Because if you don't go for 150%, you're more likely to get hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I mean? And so no matter what it is, it's like, for me, however I can get it, I'm going to get it. And whatever it is that I'm trying, I'm putting 150% in because I want to get it. And it's just a decision where it's like, all right, yo, I'm going to fucking do this one right here. Like, this is it. And it's all you got, you know? And sometimes it's all you got over and over and over again. And you're just like, yo, and then, yeah. But no, I think I still approach it the same way. Just physically, I know, like, when not to push it just because I don't skate as much as I did then, you know? Because then I was 24 hours all day, every day, you know?
Okay, let's do this one.
Hey Joel, so everybody wants to know the origin of your nickname Mindbender, and I believe I know the story behind this one. I just wanted to confirm it with you. Remember that one time you were skating the Brickell Hubba, and I think you fell or bailed a trick and went out into the street head first right into a car door and like bent and dented the side of the door with your head like you headbutted it? Pretty wild, man. Hope that's the reason. Another question is, do you ever miss chocolate sundae parties when you would greet the homies with like a punch to the stomach and a Happy Meal? Happy Meal, by the way, is a shot of Jägermeister and a Miller High Life. I love you, dude. Keep killing it. You're the man. Peace.
Little Paul, a.k.a. Dirt's Win. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to give you a drink, for free, you had to earn it, right?
I guess so.
So, you know what I mean? And those were all the shorties would end up, like, not shorties, but all the younger dudes that end up coming up, and it was just a different way, you know what I mean? We were just having fun, fucking around, and, you know, it was definitely a welcoming, you know, it's better than a handshake.
More memorable for sure.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know. It's like all of us would just always be fucking around. You know what I mean? It was just a different time, different strength. Mindbender actually came from, I think, Freddie and Alien had come down to Miami for the first time, I think, working on photosynthesis, and then came down after Tampa Pro. I think Abe was there, Deerdick, Freddie, I think Fat Bill, a.k.a.
Bill Strobeck.
William Strobeck. Yeah. And they all came down. I think Bad Frankie was with them too. I can't remember who it was. But they had all come down, and we were just like, again, we were just wilding. You know what I mean? Like, skate all day, party all night, wake up in the next day, skate all day, party all night, and just like living a lifestyle really, really, really fast. And I used to whip a car really quick through the city because I knew how the city moved. And I think Freddie and those dudes are the ones that gave me Mindbender, because it was like I'd be just like wouldn't be able to do something, or I'd just be like out doing something, and I would just like bend minds and make it happen. You know what I mean? And just like roll away from a fucking trick. You know what I mean? Or I would just like, if I'm flying through traffic, I would just be blazing and make it like, because again, in Miami we drive different. Or I would just, you know, somehow I would like get us into like these clubs, or get like whatever it would be. I would just be able to like
bend minds.
And make it happen.
That's so cool.
And so those dudes gave that to me, I think, and that name had trickled all the way around in through the industry.
Okay.
And that's what I think it is. I don't know. You'd have to ask one of those dudes where that reference came from. And like certain people call me it still to this day, and it's kind of funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Someone asked, called you Bender earlier. I can't remember who that was.
Probably
yes,
it was
Sven Barth.
Sven did.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I met Sven, he was out skating. He was going to UM, and I like met him, and his energy was so crazy. I think I asked him to come out and shoot some pool and have some beers with me, and he showed up in a fucking cowboy outfit. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, this dude rules. Like, you know what I mean? He just ripped.
That's awesome.
Built by Barth, baby.
But is it true, the story that Paul was mentioning, like you hitting that car door and kind of putting a dent into it? Is that an actual story, or did he make that up? Or
no, there was one where I think I did like, I don't know. I mean, there was one actually in Boston. I like crooked some rail in a stereo video and then smashed into a car and dented it up head first.
With your head?
But then yeah, probably. And then there was another one when I was skating the hubba down in Miami, Brickell Hubba, and I was like one nose grinding, I think, down it. And I just like rode away in front of a car and just like told the car basically to fuck off, and I stopped traffic as we went. But even like, I remember now, like even back in the day, I would like, people wanted to skate that hubba and it was so packed. Like that road, Brickell Ave is like super packed. I would find road construction signs, and I would just grab them and put them in the street and shut part of the road down, so you went down to one lane, so people would have room to like roll away back, even back then. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah.
Everyone was kind of shook on that shit, but I was like, yo,
I'm gonna make this happen.
Exactly. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, for sure. And he asked if you missed chocolate sundae parties. Like we did mention it, and
yeah.
Did you ever think about bringing it back, or do you feel like that's kind of done at this point? Or
I mean, I don't know. I ended up doing that party for the fact, like, I did that party because I wanted to hang out with people around me, you know?
Yeah,
and
sure.
So it was like creating things for the people around me, and we created a space for people. And then I started like working with the DJs, and then we created a space with the DJs, and then that became a thing. But, you know, I've been offered money to like bring it back, and I couldn't get myself to do it, you know what I mean? Like, I was offered, like, good money to, like, do it once a month. And I was just like, yo, this is just, like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to see a bunch of, you know what I mean? Like, not to be rude, but I just don't want to see a bunch of old people coming and talking about back in the day shit. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, don't want it to be a nostalgia kind of gathering. Or yeah, sure.
You know, it's just, like, I could, like, if I brought it back, I would bring it back where I empowered a new generation to do it, but then like the vibe itself is like such a different environment that I don't know if I would just get annoyed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it's probably better to leave it in the past, and you did it for long enough.
Yeah. I maxed it. I fully maxed it, and You know, not saying that I wouldn't bring it back, but it's just like the environment would have to be right.
Okay.
I know how to I know how to throw a party, and I know how to do a lot of different things, and I know what layers work, and I know how to move people. I just, you know, like I said, I got burnt out on it, and if it's right, I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can turn that back on, yeah.
I mean, I've done it where I've like, you know, done festivals, done different things, you know, it's just, yeah, it's fun, but I'm good.
Yeah, that part of your life is done for now. You can always come back to it whenever you want, but yeah.
If somebody wants to pay me good money, I'll do it.
All right. I have a few questions from this guy. We've been mentioning him quite a bit throughout this conversation. All right.
Hey guys, what's up? Really stoked you're doing this show. I'm excited to hear it once you guys finish. I wanted to ask Joel, after 30 years of showing teams and filmers and crews around Miami and being basically Miami's ambassador, which crew was the most fun or was the biggest surprise to you that they were so fun to show around? And tell us why, like maybe a story of something that might have happened on one of those trips.
Yeah, Josh. You know, each generation has their squads and their teams and whatnot that have come to Miami, you know? And in those beginning years, like when Alien and Girl first came down, it was the best thing in the world, where I was like, oh shit, you know, I was able to show those guys around. I was like, showed them like MLK and ADP and, you know, all the different spots, you know, BA getting his like line down there and like seeing these things, you know, in the cover of Transworld's Modus Operandi.
Oh, yeah.
Is it with Mark Johnson's front nose and like just being so stoked that Miami was getting on the map, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, that was one of the first times it was super sick. I mean, static was a huge thing, and then those videos and seeing alien photosynthesis and all that, it was just sick, you know. In the chocolate tour, when you saw that line of Costin, you know, opening up those spots, like he opened up MLK and then Kenny and the Planet Earth team and just everybody in general, you know what I mean? It was like, it was sick. And having Forrest and Ed and the audio crew come through with Chris Markovich and shit, like, you know, all those things were super sick at that time. And then all the other teams that came along with that. But my favorite one would have to be, again, like working with the whole Supreme squad.
Okay.
You know, Johnny Wilson is awesome, straight up. I really like that dude. He's 100% GE motherfucker, straight up. And then the energy that he's able to create with him, Alex, and then Strobeck is just cool. And those whole squads, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really know any of those dudes until they ended up coming down to Miami, and they really, really put it on for the city, put people on in the city, and really did a great job of bringing this amazing energy and being able to skate everything from all the different like heads that skated. And I hadn't like. It's really like a new golden era of Miami.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that was some of my favorite times because they were bringing in the local Miami heads, you know, like Josh, Reza, Elijah, and bringing them into their crew and putting them on to skate with everybody too, you know? And I just, like I said, man, it was the most fun because they kept coming back and back and back. And they just skated. Like, they're all rad skate rats. Their whole squad. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think to me, when I saw that, I was just like, this is how I've always wanted to see Miami skated. And I'm super excited to be included in this, like, 30-some years later. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of, it's like, it's actually really fucking crazy. I don't know if, like, anybody really understands. But it's fucking crazy because it's like, yo, when I first got there, to being like skating around with only a few people that were really trying to do something, then to like, you know, having a career within what was happening, but wanting to had always bring people to the city, and then to see the city so many years later at this like point with what was going on with like Andrew Supreme and all these little fucking dudes and that whole scene, it was so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not like, when Josh has his crew down, I love skating with those dudes too, because it's a different sort of crew and they skate a different sort of spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The connection with Supreme, is that kind of how this opportunity to work with Edgelord, is that how it happened, or was that already happening prior to Supreme?
No, that happened through Nick over at Andrew, because like Andrew's also been instrumental at creating that whole new scene, being a spot for him. Like Nick went out of his way to again, do Lot 11, do the shop, have a place for these kids, and helping them growing up into becoming young men who are like running the city. And he opened the opportunity for me to work with Harmony and Sean, and basically just kind of jumping into that and doing talent management while their video was going.
Yeah. Okay.
The Edgelord video. So yeah, I mean that was how that opportunity happened, and again that was surreal too within it.
Mm-hmm. So was it just for the premise of that video, or are you still kind of collaborating with them now? Like, are you gonna keep working with them, or was that more your participation was kind of more focused on that, making that video?
Yeah, I mean my participation was focused on that video and getting everyone to get things going for that video. So it was nonstop, every day, all day, pushing, making, creating, building spots, making everything in the city available at any time for when anybody of the crew wanted to skate. And that became 14-hour days, 14-hour days, because I would shoot photos all day while making spots and edit, and then just making sure the team is getting shit done or going, so it was a really great opportunity. And to be able to hear Harmony the way he's thinking, and the team that creatively he put around him, and to be in that room for 5 minutes is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's a dude who's a real artist who's made it and then wanted to go into a completely other world and is making that happen too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand Edgelord, but that's for them not to understand because they're on some other shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very unique. It's whether you like it or not, it's different and it's interesting. It's intriguing.
I mean, you see the same thing over and over again, and that formula works, but it's all right, let's shake things up. Let's try something different. Let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's create a new opportunity and just see what's going,
Yeah.
Because when you're in that space with Edgelord in the offices, you can do or make or create anything. And it's all right, let's figure out how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that was one of the coolest things. Anything that anybody would say, it would be taken in and they would just try to they would have a team that would figure something out. And then creatively, there was just so much, and there's still so much going on, that these guys are looking forward and beyond what, is being sold to you as a normal daily thing in skateboarding.
Yeah.
Your same skateboard, here's your line, here's your drop, here's your video that goes with this drop, here's this, that formula. It's just sicker to work on something that people are all right, we want to try this sort of editing, or we want to try this sort of AI, or check out this point cloud camera, you know what I mean, that can see through walls. And being able to bring all those opportunities that Harmony is on, you're just yo, this is next.
Okay, I have a couple other ones from Josh.
Okay, one more. Sorry, guys. Joel, what has been the board slide that felt the best to ride away from? You've got quite a few epic ones under your belt over the past 15, 20 years. And do you have a new crazy spot picked out for your next one? All right, thanks, guys.
Oh, we talked about that pretty epic one. Would you say that was the one, or is there another one?
No, that wasn't the one, because I didn't do it the way I want to do it. I know what it feels like. The bails, the ones I didn't land, felt better than the one I rolled away from.
Oh wow, okay.
Going up across and then down and then sliding and just enjoying the slide, where I was I'm going across this flat and I'm I should get off and try to turn off, but I'm enjoying the slide too long. I'm fuck it, let's see what happens. If I get out, I get out. If not, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I became a board slide dude. I think the only reason I board slide so much now is because I want to be able to do something that pushes me, but physically sometimes I can't do the other things that I want to do. You know what I mean? Can I crooks this whole fucking thing? Or can I backtail this whole thing? Or can I maybe I can't pop as high, or I can't do this. So it's like, whatever, like I'll just jump on it however I can get it. Because I just want to get something, and I just want to have that feeling.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And so I'll tell Josh that, like, I don't know when this is going to come out, but there was this one there's like a whole like parking, there's a Jersey barrier going down a parking structure that I jumped on the other day. And I had fucked around with it during COVID. And I was like, I don't know if I can do this, you know what I mean? And then we went there, a while ago. And I tried and it was like mad dusty, mad craze, whatever. And it was down a parking lot, so I had to wait for traffic, got kicked out, and then came back. And I got it the second time I went back and got it. And that was pretty sick. And that was the last one that I'd done that was like a ton of fun, kind of scary, kind of sick. And it's like, hopefully they use it. I got like a little crooked board coming out next month, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And hopefully you use that clip for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that one was pretty sick because it was like, the kids, Zoogie and them were like, yo, man, you're going to be holding it too long in the squat position. I'm like, dude, just let me get this trick, dude. Like, you know what I mean? But I ended up doing it, and it was like one of the more fun ones that I had done in a while, Because I was like able to like overcome fear, start cooking on the slide, and then popped out, on the other side, which I thought was kind of sick, And then it was like, there's clips of me trying to like board slide. When the security came, the lady like pulled the cart in front of me, and I tried to like slide behind her and get it. Or then she like tried to almost run me over. You know what I mean? Wow. So like that sort of fun, like that created like some sort of chaos and fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, it's like I enjoy the chaos,
the obstacles,
to get something going. Yeah. Just it takes away from like actually thinking about the trick and trying instead of just doing it.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably the last one, Josh. You know what I mean? I know I go in circles, but I get somewhere.
Do you have another one that you're thinking of for the future, or not yet?
No, man. I mean, again, I don't really think about it. I just kind of do it, and if I don't get it that day, I'll go back for it. But it has to be something that's like
it presents
fun
itself.
And hard.
Yeah. All right, have a last one from Josh, and then a very last one.
Okay, I was kidding. I had one more. Joel, my final question is, when are you going to run for mayor of Miami? Because you've got my vote and about 6 million other skaters. Thanks, guys.
Thought that was a good question.
I don't know, man. I think Nick Katz is claiming that one now, and he can have it. You know what I mean? I'm here to help, for Miami. I'm here to help create fun and a good time. You know what I mean? I just want people to have... the reason why that stuff was ever said was because I just wanted to create the best experience for everybody who came to Miami, so they would left and wanted to come back and bring more and more skaters and more people to like roll around and have fun in the streets, because I was selfish and wanted just to skate in Miami and have a good time. And so now to see like where this space and place is at this point now, it's it is beyond, and it's cool, and that's that was why I was like in Miami by myself a lot of times, skating around, going and skating by myself. And I was like, I don't like this. I want to skate with people. And so when I had the opportunity, I was able to like, bring that together, and it's pretty sick. And I don't know, there's a lot of heads that, I have to say thank you. But it's like when, Alien and Girl first came down that first year, Alien, Girl, and Chocolate, and seeing like, I think I seen Eric do kickflip back tail on this ledge that was like thigh high, just fucking around. And I was like, holy shit. You know what I mean? And just seeing like, that's the skating that I want to see in Miami.
Yeah.
Or you seeing like, the way that the energy that was going on with like the Alien dudes at that time too. It was just like, oh, this is it. You know what I mean?
These are
and
the
then
best.
To seeing like, these are the best, and this is what this place is. And there's all these spots. And now seeing it so many years later, and, like I said, like being a part of like when that Supreme thing is, or like say the Huff thing, or like whatever it is, like whatever company or brand is, down. It's like, that's what it's all about, and being able to show people like the real lifestyle of what it feels like to be in Miami, from going out back in the day when I was like doing nightlife, to go like, yo, you guys want to see some real shit? I'll take you over to we'll skate all day. We'll go here because it's open bar, get some beers. We'll go over here because this club's popping tonight. We'll go to this after hours, and then we'll go like, you know what I mean? And then we'll wake up the next morning, go skate all day again and do it all over again. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was what it was all about. Just running and, giving that opportunity to everyone else. So, with Josh, there's no more than thank you beyond thank you, and Jamal, and, even like skating for hops. We didn't even talk about any of that shit, you know what I mean? But it's like having the opportunity to skate for like I said, we would watch Eastern Exposure all the time, and, like Jamal's part just stuck out to me even back then. And being able to skate for his company and meet him. And he moved down to Miami and was like living down there for a while. And I was just like, I don't think I was skating during that time. And then I started skating again, and going out and rolling around with him was just super fun. And again, that energy, I think it was him and Forrest. We went to MLK and I was just like fucking around, and I was like, oh shit, this is fun again.
That's awesome. That's how you connected with him and got on hops eventually?
Yeah. I got on. I remember him coming down, him wanting to start a brand. He was talking about, I think. And they moved back up to New York and started the brand. But yeah, I met Jamal down in Miami. He was like a part of Miami because of his girl. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. I was like, damn, this is Jamal Williams. That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
100%. I shot a photo of him and his son at Brooklyn Banks.
Oh, nice.
The other day, and I was just like, this is the sickest photo, because it's like, multi-generational skating this spot together.
Yeah, and that place as well. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's super sick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That should age well.
All right, well, let's wrap it up with this last one.
Your work has always been grounded in skateboarding, but lately it's taken you into some unexpected territory, like helping create the new Southside Sanctuary skate space in the south side of Chicago, photographing for Adidas Skateboarding and Formula One, and shooting everything from Palm Beach soccer training estates, unplugged recovery centers, to private performances for Andre 3000. How has skateboarding shaped the way that you've approached these shoots across other mediums? And now that you're diving deeper into photography at Harvard for the next year, where do you see your creative focus moving in the next few years?
Yeah, wifey crushes it.
So her name is Cecilia, right?
Yep, Cece. Yeah, she's another one who's, I thought I had a lot of energy, and I thought I was like strong, and I am in
until you met
in
your
comparison.
wife.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, she's a true G, you know what I mean? And I think anything and everything that surrounds her, she picks up and puts on her shoulders and carries them, and you can already tell that she's definitely well-defined and really knows what the fuck's up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the Southside Sanctuary project was a spot on, I believe, 47th and King. That was a project that, like, she took over, but we all jumped on with a community effort to make a public space that is based on play and freedom and to feel safe, a safe space.
Okay.
And we pushed for, it's just like a place where they took an empty parking lot, or empty lot, city lot, and ended up putting like a public, not a public park, but a public active space for all wheels. What is it called? I forget what the name of it is. But where you'll have farmers markets, you'll do yoga, there's outdoor stages, it's a space that the community can come to, and it lifts up a community.
Mm.
I don't know if you guys like understand what that means. On the south side of Chicago, when you're like walking between a corner and you see an empty lot with a little dirt path on it, and you just like walk across that every day, and that's as a kid, you're just walking through that every day, going to either the corner store, you're going to school, you're going to your train, whatever it might be. She's the one, and with the community there, has changed that space and, made it this beautiful garden that has skatable obstacles.
Oh, cool.
All wheels accessible, we call it, instead of skatable.
Okay, yeah.
And, Canton Russell ended up donating some of his time and designed like the ledges and how the spot should look. And it's just this little pathway, and it's beautiful, And then, the opportunity of shooting photos, it's just capturing life around me, and then being able to be taken serious as a photographer, and people asking me to shoot for them, it's like, again, something fell through and these guys needed something done, and I was able to make it happen with Adidas and Formula One. I think it was with Tyshawn and Total Wolf from Mercedes Formula One, and they had to do a shoot together, and they wanted Tyshawn to ollie over a Mercedes and Toto Wolff driving it. So I
think I saw
found
a clip
spot.
of this. Didn't that thing go viral with him ollieing over a car?
Nah, that was the Ferrari in
that's something else. Okay.
in New York, and I think Ben Collins shot that photo. But I think they wanted to kind of figure something out how to do that, and the spot that they had was this bump that he skated all the time, was going to try all over the car for there, and they couldn't get that spot, so they hit me up, and they needed a photographer, so I was able to produce the shoot and shoot it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get it all done.
You were the villain once again.
I was the one who went and made it. Like, I had the spot, made it happen, did all the fucking, space setup. And then, with the Harvard thing, shit, I don't know. I don't know what my trajectory will be. I just got bored doing the same thing over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds crazy, but, living in Miami and doing the same thing and kind of like being around the same people, and like I just needed a shift in energy and direction.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could stay in Miami and do the same thing and be fine, but I wanted to grow. And for me to grow, I needed to challenge myself in a new place. And there was an opportunity that's presented with her receiving the Loeb Fellowship. And like I said, for me to be able to audit classes here, that means just to be able to take them and sit in the classroom and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm, basically taking some classes up here in Cambridge and seeing just listening to people communicate and caring about different things in the world. I'm like in a place where some of the smartest people in the world are right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have access to resources in front of me, and I'm, going for it and seeing what happens, What's next, and how can I scale, you know what I mean? Like, basically, how can I scale what I do and take it to that next level, Because if you go from like being a professional skateboarder to events and marketing to photography to working with global brands to understanding how different regions move and also how to connect with their retailers for sales, and then also to connect with their communities, and then how to end up understanding where markets and brands are going in the next couple of years, and having a gallery, and how do I apply all that to what I want to do for the next part of my life? You know what I mean? Because I can still hang out and go skate and, give everything I got with skating, but I want more,
Yeah.
I want to be able to help other people. I want to be able to work for bigger companies, but I also want to be able to help people who are like me, who didn't fit in school, weren't comfortable in those environments, and, overcoming insecurities by using what's in front of you instead of covering it up with booze and alcohol.
Yeah.
But to be able to be like, hey, if it's a young kid or it's somebody, it's like, all right, well, I might not fit into what this collegiate or academic world is. How do you end up taking, what your passion is, whatever it might be, from, skating to golf to tennis to video games to whatever it might be, and creating a formula that will help them actually create longevity in a business opportunity to be like, hey, I can build a business, I can build confidence underneath myself, I can end up creating these systems that work and applying them. It's that, it's like, that's, I don't know, those are the goals, how to help, how to make things happen and how to help.
Are you in Boston for a set amount of time, or are you kind of there and just you're figuring things out as time goes, or
No, I'm here in Boston for the opportunity of until the end of spring semester.
Okay.
But I'm still, if there's work in Miami, I'll fly down to Miami and work. If there's a shoot or something or an event or wherever there is. I was just in Chicago this weekend actually shooting Plantasia, which is just a music event,
Oh, cool.
for plants to grow to.
Okay.
But I'm gonna be all over the place, but Boston will be a base for a little bit.
And just before I let you go, she did mention Andre 3000 performances. Can you just tell me about that? Did you just shoot photos of him at a concert that he was doing, or what was that?
He had just done his flute show last year, or the year before, whatever it was. And a friend of mine who I just shot the Plantasia video photos for that, he asked me, Brent Hale, which is Shane Hale's brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
asked me to shoot the Andre 3000 shows. There was 3 of them in Chicago. And we were like, she has a restaurant, Southside Sanctuary, or she has a Bronzeville Winery in Southside Sanctuary, so she was living there. And we ended up, what was it? Yeah, I was the only photographer there, which was crazy.
Wow.
And I only had, so it was a very intimate shows, all 3 of them. And so, they're like, hey, you have the first 15 minutes of the show to shoot. And I was like, well, what?
That's a short window.
And so, again, overcoming, like, that's another one where it's like overcoming fear of like, oh shit, I'm the only one here. I can't fuck up. How am I going to do this? Can I get this done?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's go for it and make it happen no matter what. And that was another one of them. Yeah. But I mean, that Andre 3000 shows, it was amazing to have that opportunity. And it was probably one of the more interesting, positions I was put in to be like, hey, can you succeed?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I mean?
Well, it looks like you thrive outside of your comfort zone. Like you seem to be someone that likes to be challenged and explore things that you've never tried before.
I mean, isn't that what life kind of is about?
Yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of people and myself, I'm afraid of stepping out of my comfort zone. So I tend to stay within the things that I know I can do, and I think a lot of people tend to do that because it's a bit more reassuring, to stick to what you can do. But some people like you are risk takers and, they're like, well, fuck it. I'll just, have 15 minutes to shoot an Andre 3000 show. Okay, let's just go for it,
Yeah, I mean,
but,
I mean, also at the same time, it's look at you've like stepped forward, you've put a podcast together, you've created this whole thing, out of nothing, and you're putting light onto all these different people, and you're reaching out to all these new people, you know what I mean? So it's like just as the same. You're like, all right, let's make this happen. Mm-hmm. I think as skaters, we're all in that same boat,
Well, yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. It's a good place to wrap it up.
Sick.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you so much for
man.
doing this. That's it for my conversation with Joel. Go check out his recent Crooked Guest Pro part, as well as all his previous ones that we mentioned throughout our conversation. And make sure to follow him on Instagram at @IamYourVillain to keep an eye on his upcoming projects. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon for a new episode of Beyond Board.